The strategy begins to unfold as the pod of orcas steadily tightens its formation. Rather than rushing their target in confusion, orcas rely on near-perfect coordination. Each individual takes on a role, applies pressure from a different angle, and gradually turns the open ocean into a carefully controlled trap. Even other predators can become part of this calculated encounter. When intelligence, teamwork, and timing come together with such precision, who truly holds command over the vast ocean? Orcas are widely recognized as one of the ocean's strongest symbols of intelligence and power. They live in closely connected matriarchal family groups, where hunting techniques and social knowledge are passed from one generation to the next. Their large brains and sophisticated communication system enable the entire pod to coordinate with exceptional precision. From icy polar seas to warm tropical waters, orcas adapt successfully to an extraordinary range of marine environments. Through disciplined cooperation and carefully coordinated hunting strategies, they continue to rank among the most capable apex predators in the world's oceans. In the cold, deep waters of the ocean, the surface may appear calm, but the struggle for survival never truly stops. For generations, the great white shark has represented one of the ocean's most powerful predators. Reaching around 20 feet in length and armed with multiple rows of triangular teeth, it possesses the strength to alter the direction of almost any encounter with a single approach. Even so, that power has clear limits. Great white sharks usually hunt alone, without the coordinated teamwork needed for more complex confrontations. Orcas, by contrast, operate as a tightly organized pod. They detect one another over long distances through sound and approach their target in carefully synchronized formation. That difference alone creates a significant advantage. Weighing up to around 13,000 pounds, an orca closes the distance with deliberate precision. At the critical moment, one individual delivers a powerful sweep of its tail, generating enough force to briefly disrupt the shark's balance. Every movement is timed with care, allowing the pod to maintain control as the encounter unfolds. When the shark is turned upside down, it enters a temporary state known as tonic immobility. During those brief but critical moments, the balance of the encounter begins to change. The orca holds its position just long enough to take advantage of the opportunity before calmly moving away. Beneath the surface, success belongs to the one that controls timing and rhythm. The orca demonstrates that true dominance comes not only from strength, but from the ability to transform strategy into results. Beneath the ocean, dolphins rank among the most accomplished swimmers, combining impressive speed with an exceptionally refined navigation system. They can reach nearly 36 miles per hour while maintaining a steady pace over long distances. Working together as a pod allows them to avoid danger and locate food efficiently. Yet, across the open sea, even those advantages do not always guarantee safety. At the edge of the gathering, black and white bodies cut through the surface, announcing the arrival of a pod of orcas. Led by an experienced matriarch, the hunters spread into a broad arc. Another group slips quietly beneath the surface, moving ahead to confine the dolphins within shifting lines of pressure. To monitor the pod's position, several orcas launched nearly 20 feet into the air before crashing back onto the surface, disrupting the opposing sonar field. The moment a single dolphin becomes separated from the group, the encounter accelerates. It answers with sharp, 90-degree turns, attempting to break the approaching line. The orcas, however, preserve their spacing and adjust position with every change in movement. Then, a powerful surge from below briefly disrupts the dolphin's balance, shifting the momentum of the encounter. As the surface settles into calm once again, another lesson from the natural world remains. The encounter ends with a clear reminder that survival is often decided by those able to control both space and timing. Deep beneath the polar ocean, Weddell seals are among the best adapted residents of the frozen seas. Their streamlined bodies and thick layers of blubber help them withstand extreme cold, while an adult, weighing around 900 pounds, can retain body heat even in freezing conditions. During periods of rest, they often choose drifting ice floes separated from the activity beneath the icy water. Yet, that sense of security rarely lasts for long. Below the surface, a pod of orcas approaches in remarkable synchronization. Swimming side by side at an even pace, they accelerate together just before reaching the ice. A coordinated strike of their powerful tails sends a wall of water nearly 6 feet high crashing onto the floe, causing it to shift violently. As the ice tilts beneath its weight, the resting seal struggles to keep its balance. If the first wave fails to achieve its goal, the orcas repeat the tactic with even greater precision. They adjust distance timing and approach angle, with every attempt gradually overcoming the seal's efforts to remain on the ice. The instant the seal slips into the water, control of the encounter passes completely to the hunters waiting below. This hunting technique, known as wave washing, is far more than a simple instinct. Young orcas remain with their pod for 4 to 6 years, learning how to read wave movement, divide responsibilities, and pass knowledge from one generation to the next. Soon afterward, the frozen surface settles into silence once again. In this icy world, the highest level of adaptation belongs not to raw strength, but to the intelligence of the group. Gray whales are among the largest travelers in the ocean, with adults reaching around 82,000 pounds. Their immense size and thick, resilient skin make fully grown individuals extremely difficult to challenge during their long migrations. Even so, every journey is accompanied by a persistent threat. Orcas rarely focus on healthy adults, directing their attention instead toward young calves swimming beside their mothers. When danger emerges, the mother gray whale immediately positions her calf beneath her broad pectoral fin, guiding it toward shallow water to create a living shield. The struggle quickly intensifies as the orca pod spreads into multiple directions, slipping through blind spots at speeds approaching 35 miles per hour. Rather than rushing the attack, they alternate between advancing and pulling back, maintaining steady pressure to wear down the endurance of the mother and calf. As the distance between the pair and safety gradually increases, the balance beneath the surface begins to change. The orcas constantly adjust their positions, taking turns applying pressure from different angles, while restricting the calf's movement near the surface. The confrontation can continue for hours, steadily draining the young whale's strength as the pod controls both space and timing. The encounter ends in quiet stillness when the calf finally slips beyond the protection of its mother. Even the powerful bond between parent and offspring can yield to the laws of nature, where survival is sometimes determined by a single moment of lost awareness. Along the sunlit coast of Patagonia, the boundary between safety and danger is measured by only a few feet of shallow shoreline. Sea lions gather close to the sand, often remaining about 16 feet from what they recognize as a secure zone. In these shallow waters, they depend on limited depth to reduce the threat from the open ocean. But for orcas, that narrow margin has never been a true barrier. As the tide begins to rise, the pod quietly adjusts its position offshore. One orca accelerates to nearly 32 miles per hour, using the force of an incoming wave to surge onto the beach. The contact lasts only an instant, yet it is enough to break the sea lion's balance. Almost immediately, the orca pivots and slides back into deeper water before the retreating wave can leave it stranded. Farther offshore, the challenge changes. Stingrays carry a barbed tail, capable of delivering an effective defense. Rather than rushing the encounter, the orcas maintain distance while studying the animal's movement. They wait for the most favorable angle approaching, only when the stingray has little time to react. A precise strike briefly leaves the target disoriented, allowing the orca to maintain control of the surrounding space without unnecessary force. With hunting success rates exceeding 90% under many conditions, orcas continue to rank among the ocean's most efficient predators. Their greatest advantage lies not only in strength, but in the ability to combine timing, teamwork, and precision. Beneath cold gray waters, a humpback whale mother, weighing around 82,000 pounds, raises her broad, 16-foot pectoral fins to form a steady shield around her calf. The newborn, measuring about 18 feet in length, carries a natural biological limitation. It must return to the surface frequently for every breath. Orcas never rely on reckless attacks. Instead, they observe from a distance and wait until the mother and calf move into more open water. The pod quickly divides responsibilities. One group follows from behind to maintain pressure, while another moves along the flank, forcing the mother to repeatedly change direction. Every time she turns to protect her calf, the orcas adjust their own positions, extending the encounter instead of rushing into direct contact. Through this continuous rotation, the humpback's physical advantage gradually begins to diminish. What defines the encounter is the contrast between size and strategy. The humpback mother depends on strength, endurance, and an unwavering protective instinct. The orcas depend on coordination, discipline, and precise timing. Across the ocean, the lesson remains consistent. Size may create an advantage, but strategy ultimately shapes control over the rhythm of survival. Not every lion's charge ends in success. A single mistaken angle can completely alter the course of a hunt. The prey reacts immediately, relying on its horns, hooves, and powerful survival instincts. From a position of control, the lion gradually begins to lose its advantage as the encounter develops. How will the king of the savannah regain control of the situation? The lion is one of the few big cats that lives and hunts in groups. Weighing around 450 pounds, this predator can command attention through its presence alone across the African savanna. Its advantage comes not only from strength, but also from teamwork and coordinated hunting behavior. Yet in the wild, a single mistake during an approach can quickly alter the balance. And in that brief moment, the true limits of the king of the savannah become visible. Under the scorching sun of the African savanna, a zebra's black and white stripes are more than a distinctive pattern. They are a sign of constant vigilance. Weighing around 720 pounds, this grazing animal serves as an important food source for lionesses. But it is also a difficult and potentially risky target. Across the dry grasslands of Namibia, a lioness moves quietly through low vegetation toward a herd of grazing zebras. As the distance narrows, the herd suddenly detects the threat and immediately breaks into a run. The lioness focuses on an individual near the edge of the group, where the chances of separation are highest. When cornered, a zebra does more than flee. It can stop abruptly, brace with its front legs, and deliver a powerful kick with its hind hooves, with force estimated at up to 3,100 pounds per square inch. A zebra's kick becomes a natural defense against every close approach from a lioness. In another encounter, when a lioness has closed the distance but has not yet secured control, a zebra may turn and bite to create an opening for escape. If a foal is threatened, adult herd members may return, surge forward, and use forceful kicks to push the threat back. It is a powerful expression of the species' instinct to protect the herd.
And get all them poops to poopies. The poop and a sleepy hyena. Oh, CB Malachi. Oh, little baby.
On the African savanna, African wild dogs may not possess the massive build of lions, but they remain among nature's most effective pack hunters. An adult typically weighs around 90 pounds and combines remarkable endurance with near-flawless coordination. Their greatest advantage does not come from a single powerful strike, but from teamwork, communication calls, and the ability to move as a unified group during every approach. Lions and African wild dogs often exist within a quiet rivalry. Both species depend on the same territory: prey, water sources, and breeding areas. On a hot, dry afternoon along the edge of the Serengeti grasslands, a lioness approached the den site of a wild dog pack. Instantly, the pack spread out and applied pressure from multiple directions to defend the breeding area. The lioness was stronger, but against a group that was highly agile and coordinated. She eventually withdrew from the site. In another situation, lions are usually the dominant competitors and may take over prey claimed by wild dogs. However, when a wild dog pack exceeds 30 individuals, it can push back, moving at speeds approaching 50 miles per hour. The dogs repeatedly close in, distract, and pull away. Lions excel in short confrontations, but there are times when they choose to leave, rather than continue against a persistent and coordinated strategy. In nature, individual strength sometimes gives way to collective intelligence. Survival belongs not only to the strong, but also to those capable of standing together. In the brushlands bordering the grasslands, warthogs appear low to the ground, sturdy, and constantly alert. An adult can weigh around 260 pounds and is equipped with impressive bursts of speed and a pair of sharp, curved tusks. Warthogs are a favored target for lions, especially when young piglets are nearby. For a mother warthog, protecting her family remains the highest priority. One afternoon, a pride of lions detects signs of activity near a burrow entrance. They spread out, covering likely escape routes in an attempt to force the target into the open. A tense silence settles across the area, but a warthog burrow is rarely limited to a single entrance. Narrow tunnels, side passages, and hidden exits create an unexpected advantage. While the lions focus on the main opening, the mother warthog guides her piglets through another route and quickly leads them into the brush. In an instant, the pride's carefully organized ambush loses momentum. On another occasion, a lioness suddenly surges forward, focusing on the slowest piglet, but the attempt is immediately interrupted. The mother warthog turns, lowers her head, and moves directly toward the predator. At close range, her curved tusks become a powerful warning, causing the lioness to hesitate. What seemed like an easy opportunity quickly becomes more complicated. In the end, the lioness steps back while the mother warthog quickly leads her young to safety. In the harsh world of nature, the greatest strength is not always found in size, but in a mother's powerful instinct to protect her family. Spotted hyenas are not simply opportunists waiting behind a hunt. They are also long-standing rivals of lions across the savanna. In the wild, the two species frequently compete over territory, food, and control. Although smaller than lions, hyenas gain an advantage through numbers, endurance, and coordinated group behavior. Their boldest moments appear when a young male lion becomes separated from the pride. The hyenas quickly recognize the opportunity. They spread into formation, reduce the distance to only a few feet, and continue applying pressure from multiple directions. The lion lowers his body, releases a warning growl, and responds with a short charge, but with a bite force of around 1,200 pounds per square inch and the support of the group. The hyenas gradually begin to gain the advantage. The struggle over food becomes increasingly tense as the hyenas continue circling the target. They do not rush forward all at once, but take turns approaching from concealed angles, forcing the lion to turn almost 360 degrees in defense. When the larger group maintains pressure long enough, the dominant predator's energy begins to decline. In the end, the lion steps back cautiously, surrendering space to preserve strength for the next challenges of survival. Across the wild kingdom, the African buffalo moves with the presence of a living fortress. A mature adult can weigh around 1,600 pounds and carries a broad set of horns that forms a natural shield. Against such power, a lion cannot depend on speed alone. It must judge distance, read the herd's formation, and anticipate the reactions of every surrounding animal. When one buffalo becomes separated from the group, the rhythm of the hunt begins to intensify. The lion lowers its body, slips through the golden grass, and surges forward at precisely the right moment. But African buffalo are rarely easy to isolate. The herd quickly turns back, closes the gaps, and places the targeted individual at the center of a defensive circle. At Queen Elizabeth National Park, one study recorded lions succeeding in more than 50% of their buffalo hunts, showing that many encounters still end without the result the lions intended. If the lion is a symbol of power across the grasslands, the crocodile represents hidden strength beneath the water. This ancient reptile is protected by heavily armored scales and possesses a bite force exceeding 3,100 pounds per square inch. It remains a silent guardian along the fragile boundary between land and water. During the rainy season, when floodwaters divide the fertile plains, lion prides are often forced to cross rivers in search of new hunting grounds. Along these familiar routes, Crocodiles may already be waiting beneath the surface. No matter how alert the lions remain, once they enter deep water and muddy banks, much of their advantage on land quickly begins to disappear. A sudden surge breaks through the water as the distance closes. Thanks to reflexes measured in fractions of a second, the lion narrowly avoids the crocodile's powerful jaws. Even so, the moment serves as a clear reminder of the dangers concealed beneath murky water. The greater risk often falls upon cubs or inexperienced individuals crossing rivers with fast-moving currents. A few uncertain steps can throw an entire pride into confusion. From below, a crocodile may emerge without warning, turning a routine crossing into a dangerous test of survival. Encounters in which crocodiles gain the upper hand over lions are uncommon, but they reveal an important truth. Strength is not defined by reputation alone. Survival belongs to those who understand which territories should never be underestimated. After every hunt, the ocean gradually settles back into its familiar rhythm of calm. Orcas do more than pursue prey. They help shape the demanding balance of the marine world, where both predators and prey continually adapt under the steady pressure they create. In the wild, survival is built on a balance between intelligence and discipline. Be sure to like and subscribe as we continue exploring the hidden rules that govern life beneath the ocean surface.